What is good? It is Moon Day, and I'm just kind of dropping a rando stream of consciousness live right here. I don't think I am going to do a 9 Doors of Midgard tonight because I want to take care of going to the gym, and because I have to pit stop at home and put my things together and then go and then come back. And I may want to take a little bit of time afterwards. I don't know, I might go to use the pool. I haven't decided. So I probably won't do that because I have to go to bed on the early side, you know? And I may also want to have a little bit of that time for other things. But let me see here. I am almost done. I may have mentioned this before, but I am almost done tracking The Shining. I've been talking about for a hot minute how I've been prepping slides by rewatching The Shining, but watching it forwards and backwards, and I need to take the slides from where those backward parts sync up. And so the slides also, the file title is my show note for the slide. And then I'm going to do this presentation with Ryder Lee, and I think Ryder is all interested in working with Slick, so we should be able to make that happen. I'm very excited about that. This is my first time working with Ryder, and Ryder's been waiting for me to ask him for a long time anyway. I didn't have a good thing. Like, I try to really know what's up. You know, sometimes if I can't figure it out after long enough, I'll just say, hey, I have no fucking clue what we're going to really talk about, but I'm inviting you on the show and I'll figure it out if you say yes. You know, just throw it out there a couple weeks in advance. That kind of thing, right? You know, like, for instance, like I've asked Thomas Sheridan on, which I asked him on a couple, like I think maybe even 2 years ago. If not, no, I think it was like way early this year. Might even have been a year ago that I asked him. And then he said that he's pretty busy until later in the year, right? So I said, okay, man, I'll touch base with you later on, right? So it's basically yes, but I can't schedule it right now. Hey, what's going on? Name a card for a edit? What does that mean? A cat or a CAD? Did you say CAD? I don't know what a CAD is. But anyway. Now, I've thrown this out there. You guys have no idea because it's just me live. I've got a weird name. And I can see that none of my mods are here. So, hi. Okay, yo, name a car for an edit. I don't know why I would, I don't know how naming a car is going to help me edit anything. And I'm not going to tell you what car this is. You can just figure it out. I might say it. But I'm not just going to say it because you're interested. You'll just have to be paying attention. But yeah, so I encourage you to check out what my channel's about, because it's not just about me kind of just talking weird here, because right now I'm just kind of talking shop about the atmosphere going on around the channel, right? I'm just kind of talking about what's up with me in a way that informs channel content. So thus I'm talking about the conversations I am trying to set up to have on. I am going to work on scheduling to have James True on again. I'm actually kind of, I'm very interested because James recently spoke about Mark Passio in one of his videos as an example of something that he's talking about in a manner of a few things, right? and James is my friend and colleague, and he knows that I once interviewed Mark Passio when I was a very different man, doing very different work in alternative media. I think it was 2014 or something that I had this interview with him. That interview predates me meeting Sethicus and going into Temple, right? So I kind of want to have a discussion about achievement by step, right? Like my thing is that I think that Mark Passio is right, but I think that Mark Passio, how upset that he got by betrayals and the disappointments, and how it felt like it's upset with you if you weren't up to his standards. You know, he's spitting vitriol, right? You know, he's doing what he had to do. You know, he had to rethink, replan. You know, he's still figuring out how he wants to change things up to be effective, or whatever, or to find, you know, or maybe he's like letting the world tell him that he's got to point the mission this way, because he'll never give up on the mission, and I am rooting for that mission. But I think if we can remember that that's going to take several lifetimes, we've got to look at where people are at now. Because otherwise, I believe Mark Passio is a 20 billion%, you know, authentic human being. And I know that the What on Earth is happening, Grey Work Network crowd they all know James's name. They all gave him a hearing when he worked, I think it was one of the funnels, like Funnel 2 or something like that. And it didn't land. And I think like, and someone else maybe, but at any rate, but I am hoping that, you know, it's like there's a grand scheme. There's a grand scheme. There's a wide expanse of everybody's experiment in individuation and experiments in collectivism, right? Like me being somewhat of an American, you know, I'm interested in part of my identity being, quote, American, whatever it means to be a part of a nation, right? This is a psychological concept that is also indicatively rooted in tribe, right? And but it is many tribes, and like, you know, Egyptian civilization had a number of things. You know, you can see different hieroglyphs of many different skin shades of people and things like that. Some even think that there was like a breeding program where they use selective breeding to get people to white, like, is what they think they're looking at. Maybe they're right. I don't know. I have to look closer at that, because that's like a new theory. You know, I won't even call it a theory. We throw the word theory out there too loosely. This is the problem with our language, is that we're way too loose with it. And we have freedom of speech for sure, but the inversion is freedom of speech means I can be reckless in speech with no consequences. And this is my gripe with people that don't strive to know themselves enough to know what they really are, you know? everybody who's doing primal fucking ceremonial magic thinks they're a fucking shaman. That's not what it is to be a shaman. A shaman is a fundamental change in you from a fucking, you know, it's a number of different things qualify you for shaman material. And even then, we're using that word as a generality for a very, very unique talent that you might not even necessarily have after you go through a process. And there's different ways to the process, because the point is that you internally have something that clicks, that makes you the thing, and then you eventually learn to control it, right? But it affects you so deeply that it changes the way that you relate to fucking people in the world, and you're not a goddamn social media thing like fucking Jake Angeli is, right? Last time I checked, the shaman isn't the goddamn chief's cheerleader. Right? The shaman doesn't do the direct fucking action, right? It's people check in with the shaman and fucking, like, the culture kind of makes its own decision. Because we're all working together. It's a family. It's a tribe. It's a, you know, a tribe is like there's 6 families over there and there's 6 families over there. And then, depending on how big your tribe gets, some of you guys are going to have to move out and go find your own fucking place. And then a whole bunch of them will do that en masse. And then they will start a war if they can't find anything close by. Because that's a survival situation and everything else, right? There was a different way we thought about population back then. How did we get to this topic? What was my point in making all of that? Oh yeah, I was talking about shamanism and the looseness of the word, right? Just like the throwing out there of the word theory, because of the idea of this whole thing with race as such. You know, we would have to completely rethink what our relationship to melanin is. If you could breed somebody in a hot region to be of a lighter skin tone, meaning you would have to block these people from the sun a lot more than usual. Which, guess what? If you worship the sun, you're inclined to be in it. You're inclined to be up with the sun and down with the sun if sun worship is your sole thing. And by soul thing, I mean like, you know, like all the chief gods are kind of like a sun situation or have major solar component to it. There's aspects of astrology that go into the ideas of Cyrus and his 13 parts that he has broken into. Might be 13 quadrants of the sky, which gets into the whole 13th zodiac situation, if you will. And then, of course, you've got Ra. So, there's debates as to what's the moon and what's the sun when it talks about the discs on top of some of these other deities' heads, right? So, you'd have so much sun worship that, like, it would have to be the work of some sort of cult that was trusted in, which was investable in the society. That was about the nighttime, about dark places. Because you would need to get them out of the fucking sun in order for the epigenetics to work in a meaningful manner. If your goal is to lighten the fucking skin on purpose, you're going to know to get the fuck out of the sun. So there's something else about that. There's something else going on, right? Because that's perhaps my limitation, right? In time, a more comprehensive study of Egypt is going to be necessary in my practice. I'm looking forward to it when I think I fucking know where to goddamn fucking start. I'm having trouble intuiting the right fucking literary source to start digesting, or at the very least pseudo considering for the purpose of both my personal growth and whether I will be doing that as content for this channel. Jeez. Hey, hi, how's it going? Susie Q lurks in the background, taking care of nonsense people. Thank you. Woo! Alright. Well, I'm home. I'm gonna take care of nonsense. I'll see you later.